Hello, Warriors fans. We need to talk because this past weekend has left me feeling more concerned than excited about this team. Coming into the weekend, the anticipation was high. Steph Curry finally returns from injury, and naturally, expectations are that things start moving in the right direction. We all imagine a spark, a shift in momentum, a team that begins to find its rhythm again. But instead, what we got was a harsh reminder that even with the greatest shooter in the game back on the floor, there are structural issues that just do not fix themselves overnight. It started with the game against the Timberwolves. Steph did Steph things, dazzling as always, hitting shots from every angle. And still, the rest of the team seemed to fade away when it mattered most. The result? A single-digit loss that felt bigger than it was because it showcased the persistent gaps in this roster. Then, in the following matchup, a game that was winnable slipped right through their fingers once again. Another single-digit loss, another chance wasted, and the questions start piling up about what the team is actually trying to achieve this season. Looking at the roster construction, it's hard not to wonder if there's a clear vision at play. Are we truly built to contend for an NBA championship, or is this team simply a collection of players meant to satisfy short-term lineups and rotations? The abundance of guards on this roster is puzzling, especially when it comes to rebounding. The numbers speak volumes. Against Portland, Draymond Green led the team with 8 total rebounds, 7 of which were defensive, and just 1 offensive rebound. Jimmy Butler had 7, and Jordan Poole also chipped in 7. That's it. No big men dominating the glass. No consistent presence inside to grab rebounds and create second-chance opportunities. This isn't just a minor concern. It's a fundamental problem. You cannot compete at the highest level, let alone chase a championship, without having players who can consistently control the boards. The offseason decisions are also under scrutiny. Bringing in a number of guards who can shoot but struggle with rebounding raises a significant question. What was the mindset behind constructing this roster? Without a reliable rebounder, the team is left vulnerable on both ends of the floor. Offense can carry a team only so far, and when defensive responsibilities and rebounding are unevenly distributed, it exposes every weakness. It's not just about numbers on a stat sheet. It's about the flow of the game, controlling possessions, and giving Steph and the offense every chance to succeed. When the top rebounders are guards instead of a true big, the system begins to strain under its own imbalance. Watching this team in action recently, it becomes painfully clear that adjustments are overdue. Players like Seth Curry, Wiggins, and Kuminga did not see the floor, while minutes were given to DeAnthony Melton, Buddy Hield, and even Trace Jackson-Davis. Where's the consistency in rotations? Why are players with potential upside sitting idle, while others get extended opportunities despite underwhelming performance? And what about Al Horford? A veteran presence who could contribute if healthy, yet his role has been minimal and uncertain. These decisions reflect a broader problem. There seems to be no coherent strategy when it comes to balancing talent, experience, and the immediate needs of the team. Even when individual brilliance shines through, it is not enough to mask these structural issues. Steph's performance in the most recent game, scoring 48 points on 16 of 26 shooting from the field and 12 of 19 from three-point range, was spectacular. Yet, the supporting cast fell short. Draymond put up 14, Jimmy had 16, but the gap remains glaring. The offense needs another consistent scoring option, a reliable second punch that can ease the burden on Curry and prevent opponents from focusing all their energy on shutting him down. Alongside scoring, the team needs someone who can consistently secure rebounds and maintain presence in the paint. Without these elements, the Warriors are left treading water, and right now, they're under .500, a situation that cannot persist without risking the season slipping away. Trade discussions have already started to surface as potential solutions, and some ideas are intriguing, like adding a player, such as Kristaps Porzingis. On paper, the idea seems appealing. Stretch the floor, add size, and contribute offensively. But then comes the reality check, his injury history. The Warriors cannot afford to add a player who might spend more time on the bench recovering than impacting the game. The balance between acquiring talent and maintaining health is delicate, and a misstep here could derail the season entirely. Other big men on the trade block present different opportunities. Players like Ivan Zubac, for example, offer rebounding and interior toughness, traits the current roster sorely lacks. Adding a player like that would immediately address the problem in the middle and provide a complement to Steph's perimeter dominance. It's not just about the stats. It's about changing the dynamic on both ends of the floor and creating an environment where the team can compete consistently rather than constantly scrambling to cover weaknesses. The urgency is evident. The Warriors cannot continue doing the same thing and expecting different results. It's a scenario often described as insanity, yet perfectly fits the pattern we are seeing. Same lineups, same rotations, same gaps exploited by opponents, and each game leaving more questions than answers. A wake-up call seems necessary, whether it comes from management recognizing the imbalance, from Draymond speaking up about the physical demands he faces, or from Steph urging the front office to make a move that truly addresses the team's core needs. The clock is ticking. Every game lost while underperforming pushes them further behind in the playoff race. And at this stage, simply hoping for a turnaround is not a viable strategy. The Warriors' path forward must involve more than small tweaks. It requires decisive action. Whether that means trading for a big man to dominate the boards, restructuring rotations to maximize efficiency, or reassessing player roles to balance experience and youth, changes are imperative. Waiting too long could lead to a season that is lost before it truly begins. And for a team led by a generational talent like Steph Curry, that outcome is unacceptable. Fans want to see a team competing for a championship, not a roster caught between mediocrity and missed opportunities. Right now, the stakes are high, and the pressure to act is higher. Every possession matters, every decision matters, and the front office must recognize that the margin for error is almost non-existent. This team is still capable of greatness, but potential alone will not win games. Execution, roster balance, health, and intelligent rotation management are the keys. If the Warriors continue to rely solely on the brilliance of Steph and Draymond while ignoring the gaps in rebounding and secondary scoring, the season will spiral. On the other hand, strategic moves, whether through trades or smart roster adjustments, could turn the trajectory around and put this team back on the path to contention. The clock is ticking, the pressure is mounting, and the decisions made in the coming weeks will define whether the Warriors remain championship contenders or drift into a season of frustration. Continuing from the challenges that the Warriors are facing, it's clear that simply relying on past success and superstar performances will not carry this team through the grind of the season. There is no denying the brilliance of Steph Curry and Draymond Green. They have carried this franchise to multiple championships, and their individual talent is unmatched. But basketball is a team game, and without balance, the results are unpredictable at best. The recurring theme this season has been inconsistency, particularly in the middle of the court. When a team cannot control rebounds or protect the paint, it leaves the perimeter defense vulnerable and the offense constantly scrambling to make up for lost possessions. The absence of a reliable big man in the rotation has become a glaring problem, and it's something that the Warriors must address sooner rather than later if they have any hopes of returning to contention. Looking deeper into recent games, it is frustrating to see how often close contests slip away. The Warriors have had multiple opportunities to secure wins, yet late-game execution has been lacking. It is not just about making shots. It is about defensive positioning, boxing out, and having players in the right spots at the right time. The current roster construction seems to favor shooting over interior presence, which explains why the team has struggled to maintain leads against opponents who exploit size mismatches. Rebounds are not merely statistics. They translate directly into second chance points, fast break opportunities, and ultimately control of the tempo of the game. When the top rebounders are guards rather than big men, it signals a structural flaw that cannot be ignored. The conversation around potential trades and roster moves has become unavoidable. Warriors fans have seen multiple trade proposals floated in recent weeks, from bringing in Kristaps Porzingis to pursuing other big men who could shore up the middle. On one hand, Porzingis offers floor spacing and scoring potential, but his injury history remains a significant concern. Adding a player who cannot consistently stay on the court is a risk the Warriors cannot afford to take, especially in a season where every game counts. The alternative, targeting a big man like Ivan Zubac, presents a different set of advantages. Zubac offers durability, strong rebounding, and the ability to compete physically with the larger centers in the league. His skill set addresses the most glaring weakness on this roster and would provide a reliable presence in the paint, complementing Curry's offensive brilliance and allowing Draymond to focus on facilitating and defending without overextending. Beyond trades, the Warriors also need to consider internal adjustments. Minutes distribution has been inconsistent, with some younger players and high-performing recent signings receiving limited opportunities, while veterans with less impact occupy key rotations. Pat Spencer, for example, has shown promise in limited action, yet his court time has been sporadic. For a team to compete at the highest level, consistent rotations are essential. Players need rhythm and confidence, and without it, the team's performance will fluctuate game to game. Balancing the minutes between experience and emerging talent is a delicate but crucial task, and right now, the Warriors are struggling to find that balance. Health remains another significant concern. Injuries have been a recurring theme throughout the season, affecting key players and limiting the team's overall competitiveness. Al Horford's limited availability and recurring issues highlight the importance of acquiring players who can contribute consistently without setbacks. A championship-caliber team needs durability as much as skill, and right now, the Warriors roster is not offering that stability. Every injury exacerbates the structural issues and makes it harder for the team to maintain cohesion, especially during stretches where games come thick and fast. If the Warriors hope to remain in the playoff race, addressing both health and rebounding issues is non-negotiable. When discussing offensive strategy, there is no denying that the Warriors have firepower for beyond the arc. Curry, Poole, and others provide elite perimeter shooting, but relying too heavily on this creates predictability. Opponents can design defensive schemes to limit open looks, knowing that the inside presence is not as threatening. A balanced attack, with interior scoring and strong rebounding, opens up driving lanes, reduces defensive pressure on shooters, and ultimately increases efficiency across the board. This is why acquiring a capable big man is not just a short-term fix. It fundamentally changes the way the team can approach every possession. It allows for diversified play calling, greater flexibility in rotations, and better matchups in both regular season games and the playoffs. Another layer of complexity comes from the team's current positioning in the standings. Being under .500 and hovering in the middle of the pack creates tension between maintaining playoff contention and considering a longer-term rebuild. Yet, a full rebuild seems unlikely given the presence of a generational talent like Steph Curry. This places the Warriors in a precarious position. They need immediate upgrades to compete while simultaneously managing the long-term implications of trades, contracts, and player development. Decisions made now will affect not only the remainder of the current season, but potentially multiple seasons ahead. In examining potential trade targets, several names stand out for their ability to contribute immediately. Big men like Anthony Davis, Domantas Sabonis, or Ivan Zubac offer different benefits. Interior scoring, rebounding, rim protection, and the ability to battle other elite centers. Each comes with considerations regarding health, contract situation, and fit with the current roster, but pursuing one of these players would clearly indicate a commitment to improving the team's core weaknesses. It is not enough to rely on perimeter shooters alone. These additions would provide the balance needed to compete at a championship level. Before we continue, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Dubs updates. Let's keep going. A storm is brewing in the NBA, and the latest whisper from the locker rooms suggest a seismic shakeup in the league's power dynamics. The Golden State Warriors are reportedly emerging victorious in one of the most intense behind-the-scenes battles of recent memory, and the fallout is leaving rival franchises reeling. At the center of this frenzy, Nikola Jokic, the superstar whose name alone can shift the balance of a season. Sources close to team executives hint that the Warriors' front office pulled off a maneuver so audacious it has left competitors scrambling for answers. Negotiations that were rumored to involve multiple league giants suddenly tilted in favor of the Bay Area team, with insiders describing the deal as brilliantly calculated and almost ruthless in execution. League insiders are painting a picture of utter humiliation for the teams that were thought to be Jokic's top contenders. Front offices that believed they had the inside track reportedly watched in disbelief as the Warriors quietly outmaneuvered them, exploiting a combination of timing, leverage, and sheer negotiation prowess. Analysts suggest that the Warriors' strategy wasn't just about securing a player, it was about sending a message. A message that the Bay Area is willing to go all in, pulling off moves that others only dream of, and that their championship ambitions are as relentless as ever. The rumor mill is buzzing with speculation about what this could mean for the league. Some insiders claim that the Warriors' locker room is ecstatic, seeing the potential of blending their trademark fast-paced, sharp-shooting style with Jokic's unparalleled vision and versatility. Others whisper about the potential ripple effects, how rival teams, humiliated in this high-stakes chess game, might rethink their strategies, scramble to patch holes, or even contemplate bold countermoves in response. The energy in NBA circles is electric. Fans are already imagining what a Warriors-Jokic combination could do to the balance of power. Meanwhile, those left on the outside of this deal reportedly face internal frustration, as the sensation of being outwitted has sparked quiet turmoil within their organizations. While nothing has been officially confirmed, the mere hint of such a blockbuster acquisition has sent social media into a frenzy. Speculation ranges from how the Warriors might restructure their roster to accommodate a player of Jokic's caliber, to whether this will mark a new era of dominance. One thing seems certain: the NBA landscape might never look the same again. The Warriors, for now, sit smugly in the eye of the storm, having seemingly won a battle that others didn't even realize they were losing. The league's insiders, pundits, and fans alike are now left with a burning question, and it's one that's hard to ignore. What happens next for those left humiliated in the wake of this audacious move? Stay updated exclusively with the latest Dub Nation news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep getting daily updates on the Warriors. Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. Your input is essential for the Dubs community. Stay tuned for the next video.